Welcome to another spot interview of NeverEndingPanel.com. We have today a very special guest, the guest of honor, the artist guest of honor
Lee.
of Baycon. Can I finish the sentence?
I'm just going to give him a Lee.
Okay. Baycon 2010, Lee Moyer.
Lee.
Known for books, posters, graphic user interfaces, some of which he's worked on. I'm sure you've heard of World of Warcraft. He's also worked on game pieces, Dungeons & Dragons 4th edition. Best known cover you may have seen if you're an Ian Banks fan, The Algebraist. Did I say that correctly? Who knew? Anyways, we want to talk with Lee, find out, you know... Spectrum. Oh, thank you, Spectrum. Spectrum, if you haven't heard about it, is the year's most fantastic artwork. Is it art and...
Every year's. It is the year's most fantastic artwork, but it is specifically the year's best fantastic artwork.
Thank you. The year's best fantastic artwork found at every bookstore.
Not just this year's.
Every year. So Lee has been in like the past 8 or 9 years running.
It goes on.
It goes on, and that's not an easy book to get into. So, deservedly guest of honor. You had said something very provocative last night, which I'm not an artist. Well, and yet you're the artist guest of honor.
Well,
so what do you mean by that?
What I mean to say is that I'm a craftsman. It's one thing to be an artist and proclaim your artistic genius and that is somehow special. I draw, I paint, I design, I sculpt, I carve.
That sounded like an artist.
It's
all
all
like an artist. Digital world, different mediums.
All these different things.
So what's the problem with the word artist?
No, more importantly, why craftsman?
Why craftsman? Because if I say the word art, every single person in this hotel is going to give you a different meaning for what art is. Art is a construct, and what it really means is what the rich people think is cool to hang on their wall or put in their foyer. That's what it's about.
So you're saying that the name has sort of been hijacked by the elite.
So you're rebelling against the caste system.
That's exactly what I'm doing.
Excellent.
Okay.
If I could just take the caste system and just have it on the floor and just wail on it.
Screw the caste system.
That's what I'm all about.
Okay.
So.
Well, I'm in for the caste system, so I'm not fist pumping both of you. I want to be rich and snobby. No, go ahead.
Well, he really does.
Oh, man.
Yeah, it's terrible.
But the irony is, even if he makes it, I'll be there.
You're covering your bets both ways. That's
there you go, brother.
So, I really refer to myself mostly as an illustrator.
Okay.
And yes, I also write. I'm also game design. I wrote 35 pieces for the stage one year. Whatever. I mean, it's all part of the same thing. And as I say in the bio in the program book, there's this what I feel is an absolutely artificial distinction between these different facets of work.
But in reading Little Women, there was a great little line in there where Amy realizes, because they're telling her, oh, you should be an artist, you should be an artist, and she says, I realize there's a big difference between talent and genius. So she can draw okay, but the genius, she recognizes that she doesn't have, and she's not really going to be able to sell her works. So I'm arguing that...
And she's a woman in a caste system.
Right, but
Very much so.
Yes, that's true.
Of course. I grew up with a serious book problem. And it's been hard for me to kick the book.
So serious.
I've read his bio 8 times. Listen to this.
So serious that Louisa May Alcott was one of your resources.
That's how
That's pretty serious. Okay.
That's what I'm talking about. The reason I draw is because of John Arneal's astonishing illustrations in the Oz books, which is about girls going to a fairyland.
Right.
But holy cats, could that guy draw?
Tell us what you're working on now. What's going on in Lee Moyer's life?
Oh, what's going on? They called me out of the blue to be down here. It's
Guest
awesome.
of honor,
I'm
Baycon.
having a great time.
The best con ever. We were not supposed to say that.
It's just like one of the most amazing cons.
You've got to go.
If you've got a con you can go to, and you're within 1,000 miles, go here.
Right.
What I'm working on back home, it's the middle of theater poster season.
Where's back home?
Portland, Oregon.
Portland, Oregon.
Great magnet of freelance talent at this point. Because thanks to the internet, thanks to the technology, you can pretty much live anywhere as a freelancer.
Right.
And in this case, we're in the city with the greatest bookstore in the world. So says no less an expert than Guillermo del Toro.
Right.
Powell's City of Books. The first time I went, it was not the whole city block, quite. Now, it is the whole city block, sometimes as deep as 5 stories. It's new, it's used, it's unbelievably badass, and when I took my Australian friend Liz, she found Ursula Le Guin books. This many Ursula Le Guin books. Why? Because, of course, Ursula lives in Portland.
Oh, I did not know that. By the way, speaking of crafts people,
Yes.
you can't really call craftsman. She's one of the most incredible crafters of words I've ever read.
And she's awesome. She's an
Yeah.
awesome
I
person.
would love to meet her.
Yeah. And who else do we have in Portland? We have Chuck Palahniuk.
Right.
Getting to run into the author of Fight Club at a party and hearing these astonishing stories about. I shouldn't even tell these stories. Never mind.
Don't tell the story. Tell us
Never
about
mind.
you.
We're
What
moving
are
on.
you working on?
What am I working on? I'm working on theater posters. Last year I did 44. This
Okay.
year I've only done 20, so there's more awaiting me upon my return. Starstruck, the final 3 issues from IDW. I think the greatest, most ahead of the curve comic in the history of comics. And I fell in love with it in '81. I've worked with Mike Kaluta, the artist, since 1986. We did a video for the Alan Parsons Project, and I'm painting 320 pages with 6 panels a page.
Wow.
You round that, you're about
You're busy.
2,000 separate paintings, and I'm kind of serving in an editorial capacity too, kind of as the outside voice for Mike and Elaine Lee, the brilliant author, as they're so deep in that astonishing creation that I'm the guy who can say, oh, do you want to talk about that? That'd be super cool. I'd
Wow.
love to see that. Kaluta wrote a note recently that's like, oh my god, I feel like a fanboy. Which is great, because dear god, I'm that fanboy. But I was talking about the artificial separations that we have between things like illustration and design.
Right.
I tend to do all of the type design on my covers,
Right.
and that saves me the fear that I will have invested tens of
Right.
not hundreds of hours in a cover and have a blurb this big.
Right. Only to have it all blacked out. Yeah, that's actually very clever. I was in wrapping up, because we only have about a minute left.
Oh dear God.
Everybody here at the con is a buzz about your literature girls. Is that the name of the series?
Literary pinups.
Literary pinup. So I have to tell you, I was
Oh, the
at
librarian was.
yeah. So
just-
wait, let me finish.
Wow.
I went to go, look at Lee's work, and just very
The
quietly.
librarian.
They're all. Everybody's buzzing about his work, but a lot of them are buzzing about the literary pinup girls. And then I finally couldn't take it anymore. I said, listen, I'm going to be interviewing Lee in a couple of minutes. What do you want me to ask him? And the question they wanted me to ask you is, when's the calendar coming out? And is a calendar coming out?
So,
Yes.
I did a poster for a play called Moby Dick the Musical.
Okay.
It's down in the show. She's Miss Melville.
Yes.
She's sitting on her book with her harpoon,
Right.
looking out to sea,
Right.
and everyone loved it. And the thing that pleased me the most was how many women loved it. They loved it. It was crazy. And so I thought, why not do a whole literary pinup calendar? So I did. Every model a volunteer, 3 months' work, 4 months' work, and started showing it around to publishers. Dave Scrogie's the great products guy at Dark Horse. Amazing guy, really, really smart about the business. He compared the work to my pinup artist heroes, Gil Elfgren and George Petty, and then he said, the calendars are a dead market.
Oh, I don't think so.
I love
in the
them.
fairs.
I love them, he says. These are great pieces. Make sure you let me know if you have a show, and we can't publish them. Calendars have become...
Yeah, you might have another wind-up girl situation here.
You might have another wind-up girl situation. I'm telling you, are you able to do a limited run and see how well they sell, or is it just not a cost efficient?
I could conceivably do that. The thing is,
A vanity calendar.
I am so busy. I'm just insanely busy.
So if I did it for you, what's my percentage?
We can talk about that off camera. But I've had real reps. Andrews McNeil is the power.
Yeah.
No one else is even close. They're not interested. It's not
Fascinating.
their thing. Every single person I've shown them to loves them. Some
Right.
of them are like, I want to buy 9. I want to buy them as my big Christmas present for my friends this year.
Yeah.
No one's publishing.
This isn't...
Could be that,
I was joking, but I'll talk to you afterwards.
Yeah, let's do it.
Who knows?
All right.
Yeah.
Lee Moyer, thank you so much for being a guest on
My pleasure.
NetMediaChannel.com.
A lot of fun.
Anytime, nice meeting
Wherever
you.
you are,
Good talking
sir.
to you and stuff and all that. And that's it.